Hello there, and many thanks for joining us on Superscreen News at 8, broadcasting to you live from Lagos. I am Adenike Owoye Ajiboye. President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed sadness over some amendments made by the National Assembly to the 2018 Appropriation Bill before signing it into law. The president disclosed this in Abuja when he signed the bill into law more than a month after it was passed and over 7 months after he presented the bill to the lawmakers.
I am concerned about some of the changes that the National Assembly has made to the budget proposals that I presented. The logic behind the constitutional direction that budgets should be proposed by the executive is that it is the executive that knows and defines the policies and projects. Unfortunately, that has not been given much regard in what has been sent to me. The National Assembly made cuts amounting to 347 billion naira in the allocation to 4,700 projects submitted to them for consideration and introduced 6,403 projects of their own amounting to 578 billion naira. Many of the projects cut are critical and may be difficult, if not impossible, to implement with the reduced allocation. Some of the new projects inserted by the National Assembly have not been properly conceptualized, designed, and costed, and will therefore be difficult to execute.
President Buhari signed the budget in company of Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, SGF Post Mustafa, and the Chief of Staff to the President, Abba Kyari, some ministers and lawmakers.
We can only consider and pass.
Okay,
and based on the processes we face as an institution, certainly you wouldn't expect us to just rubber stamp a budget and just bring it back. We have to do the nitty-gritties of budget considerations. That is, it was not too long, my sister. We don't look at it as too long. Whatever is worth doing should be done very well. And we have done the right thing we think we should do to deliver on the expectation and the mandate bestowed on us by the people of our constituencies.
The job of parliamentarians is a very difficult one. The way the budget came, if we have allowed it to go that way, we will have been in trouble with those who elected us into office. You have to balance between the 6 geopolitical zones. So it's the balancing effort by the National Assembly that led to those observations. And happily enough, he himself has said he's coming with a supplementary appropriation, which will be dealt with as quickly as possible. I assure you about that one.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has insisted it would not be subservient to the executive and budget preparation and approvals. The House absolved itself to blame in the late passage of the 2018 budget, blaming the executive for failure to commence budget cycle from January to December, beginning from the 2018 fiscal year. Reacting on President Muhammadu Buhari's signing of the 2018 Appropriation Act into law, the House said while the executive was empowered to propose the budget, it is within its power to alter and make additions to the budget when necessary. Spokesman of the House, Abdulrazak Namdez, said it increased the 2018 budget by 508 billion naira because of some of the projects designed by the executive which do not meet the needs of the common man. The lawmakers also said the additional costs and projects to the budget were done in good faith for the sole purpose of improving the lives of Nigerians. The indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has announced plans to hold a referendum towards the restoration of the defunct Republic of Biafra. IPOB spokesman Imar Powerful, who disclosed this in a statement, said the first phase of the 3-stage referendum would take place in 2018. Although the IPOB spokesman did not disclose the date for the planned plebiscite, he revealed that 40 million ballot papers are being printed for the exercise. Powerful maintained that his mission is to restore Biafra sovereignty via a democratic process and through the instrumentality of a three-stage referendum. The federal government and some states have agreed to set up cattle ranches in 10 states to end the herders farmers crisis in the country. The 10 states in the first phase of the national ranching project are Adamawa, Benue, Ebonyi, Edo, Kaduna, Nasarawa, Oyo, Plateau, Taraba, and Zamfara states. The secretary of the National Executive Council, next subcommittee, Andrew Kwasari, discussed this at the unveiling of the National Economic Council's National Livestock Transformation Plan in Abuja. Kwasari also said the federal government and states will spend 70 billion naira in the first 3 years of the pilot phase of the program, and 179 billion naira will be spent over a period of 10 years on the national livestock implementation. Again, the federal government says that to do everything possible to ensure ISIS members do not convert any part of the Nigerian nation into training ground to breed terrorists. Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Defense Nuratu Batagarwa disclosed this to journalists at the 7th meeting of Ministers of Defense of Sahel-Saharan states in Abuja. Batagarwa said the federal government is aware of the report that the ISIS are bringing in jihadists from Syria into Nigeria to train as terrorists for possible attacks in Britain.
The purpose of these regional organizations, of course, are to tackle common problems through intelligence sharing, experience sharing, all of it to ensure that we checkmate the transborder crimes in whatever forms. We all heard about the recruitment of ISIS or whatever. Yes, it's on the table. This is on the top agenda of the censored meeting. It will be discussed elaborately with a view to finding solutions to curbing this movement. Because obviously such movements are probably illegal, are mostly illegal, and government is taking cognizance, has taken cognizance of this. The community, the organization itself is aware of this and is already taking a concerted view towards finding a lasting solution to containing this illegal movements and illegal associations.
To focus on two identified spots believed to be hideouts of the Boko Haram insurgents. Reacting to the attacks by insurgents on Damboa local government area, Borno State, which left scores of people dead, Undume said the areas are Damboa, Gwoza, Chibok axis, and the Lake Chad axis. You recall that 31 persons were killed and 48 others injured in a massive bomb attack launched on Damboa. The United Nations UN has urged Nigerian authorities to give more attention to protecting the girls and children who were victims of sexual violence and abuse by Boko Haram insurgents. A special representative of the Secretary General on Sexual Violence, Pramila Patten, disclosed this to journalists at the International Day for the Elimination of Sexual Violence in Conflict. According to Patton, the plight of the girls who were victims of sexual violence and abuse by Boko Haram terrorists were among the discussion for the day. The Nigerian Bar Association NBA Edo State is set to address the increasing difficulty of Nigerian citizens to seeking accessible legal services. The state NBA chairman Collins Ogiegbai, who discussed this at the 2018 Annual Law Week, said the new law will aid in the establishment of affordable public legal services. This, according to him, will serve the society in the pursuit of legal issues.
The role of the bar and the bench, even in the face of booming guns and blaring sirens, remains as always that of the bastion of justice, the last hope of the common man, the protector of the rights of all and sundry, including the government itself. That is the traditional rule.
Others who spoke lauded the new law and described it as a giant stride in the administration of justice.
It has never been easy acquiring legal education. From the beginning, it has always been a costly venture to be a lawyer. So it's not today that I started. If you look in the history, it's the children of the laws that become lawyers. So what we're finding today is that people who walks of life are also coming to the profession.
You're still watching Superscreen News at 8, now coming up in business. Power generation rises to 3,000 megawatts as NNPC fixes ruptured gas pipeline. Join us for details of this and more after this time out. Many thanks for staying with us. Welcome to Business News. Report says power generation has risen to 3,000 megawatts after the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation NNPC fixed the ruptured gas pipeline. Data obtained from the Transmission Company of Nigeria (TCN) shows that the country's power generation increased by 1,304 megawatts as it moved up from the 2,572 megawatts recorded to 3,876.9 megawatts. You recall that power generation had plunged to about 2,905 megawatts on Friday from 3,992 megawatts following the rupturing of the gas pipeline belonging to the Nigerian Gas Company, as well as technical issues at the gas wells of the international oil company Shell on June 16. The federal government has released 1.58 trillion naira to its ministries, departments, and agencies to execute capital projects as contained in the 2017 budget. Minister of Finance Kemi Adeosun, who disclosed this to journalists in Abuja, said the Ministry of Power, Works and Housing received the highest amount of 523.01 billion naira. The 2017 budget was presented to the National Assembly on December 14, 2016 and passed by the lawmakers on May 11, 2017. In the statement signed by the Director of Information, Ministry of Finance, Hassan Dodo, the minister said that 1.58 trillion naira released for capital projects for 2017 was 370 billion naira, higher than the 1.21 trillion naira that the government made available to the MDAs for 2016. A Ministry of Defense received the second highest capital release of 197.59 billion naira, which was 12.50% of the total or 1.58 trillion naira released for 2017. Adeosun also said the federal government is working hard to attract private capital to complement its spending in the key areas. The Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission, RMAFC, says auditors will help to recover 58 billion naira into the Federation account or to receive 8.7 billion naira for their efforts. The acting chairman RMAFC, Umar Ghana, who discussed this, said 48.7 billion naira of the recovered money had been paid into the Federation account. He also said 9.07 billion naira relating to withholding tax on dividend only had been released to the benefiting states Board of Internal Revenue. Still ahead on the foreign scene. United States of America withdraws from United Nations Human Rights Council. Details of this and more coming up shortly.